Hello, welcome to Richmond TV's Community Focus. I'm your host, Jason Robbins. We have a great show lined up for you today. We have the 56th Annual Good Old Days Festival that will be held from September 5th through September 8th, the weekend after Labor Day. So we'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to Richmond TV's Community Focus. With me now is Matt Ricks from the Richmond Good Old Days Festival. How you doing?
Nice to see you, Jason.
So we have the 56th annual
Yes, sir.
Good Old Days Festival coming up. So what are the dates for this year's festival?
This year it falls weekend after Labor Day as of every year. It's September 5th through the 8th, Thursday through Sunday.
Who's the Grand Marshal for this year's festival?
This year is a special man in the community. It is Dr. Frank Markey. He's been a dentist here for about, I think, over 40 years. Recently retired 2011, I believe.
Okay.
His practice is still going, very strong actually. But he's been very active in the Lions Club ever since he came to Richmond. Served as president, done a lot in town, so we felt very deserving for him. Of
course. Where will the opening ceremonies be held and what time?
Again, this year we're going to go in Bailey Park. It's a park with a diamond and tennis courts and everything in it. We always try to put it in the one corner closest to the tennis courts because it's away from the sunshine coming down at night. And it starts at 7 o'clock. Usually it's our queens are coming in from the classic car show to come in. And then we start opening ceremonies as soon as they're there. It's a nice thing to have. It's an introduction to the festival. So
it definitely kicks everything
off.
So.
Right. Yeah.
If there's a rain that day, will it be moving anywhere?
Yes, we always put a backup to go into our beverage tent.
Okay.
So we'll have some seating always in there, with picnic tables.
Which I heard you guys got new stuff in there.
Right now, our biggest thing is our dance floor. We finally got away from the wood dance floor that's been beat up and got some nice concrete put in. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone will enjoy that.
Yep.
So will the classic car cruise be happening this year?
Yes, as always, it is at Thursday at 6 p.m. A lot of people get there beforehand because it fills up quite rapidly. The official start is at 6:30. That way they can make it to us at 7. But they go south on Main Street to the old Kmart Plaza, turn around, head north, go for a short cruise. I've been told they get about 175 cars, so it's quite fills up,
Now, do the cars that are featured in that show, in that parade, do they? Will you be able to see them on Sunday at the classic car show?
Yeah, a lot of them do.
Parking lot?
Yes, yeah. On Sunday they come into the Main Street parking lot next to Manasi's. Most of the people come to both. Most people are very local, so they like to be featured, for both. So
how many years have they been doing that?
30 years. The Country Cruisers has been with us, and they've hinted that this might be their final year. They're getting older, and they'd like to just enjoy the show instead of run the show.
Right.
It is a big deal. It does. 175 cars. It takes a lot to organize that. So
of course.
It's not going to stop. We will probably take it over internally, but they've done a great job for us over the years. We've always had raging success with them. So. Very sad to see them go.
But it's understandable.
Oh yes, yeah, very much.
Who is performing in the beverage tent over the weekend?
So as always, Thursday we have just kind of some general music going. It's kind of a slower night because it is that first week of school. A lot of people are trying to get their lives back in gear that week. So really Friday kicks off with D&J Productions, the DJs. They've been with us for I can't even tell you how many years. It's as long as I've ever been in the tent, which has been a long time. They start at 8 p.m. On Saturday. The local favorite, the Go Beasts, will be with us again. They've been with us probably the same amount as D&J. They get that crowd going. Everybody loves them. Everybody's singing. Everybody's trying to get on stage with them. It's really a great band, a lot of local guys, so everybody knows them. They also start at 8 p.m. And then Sunday after the parade, is when we bring back all of our our fife and drums bands from the parade. We shuttle them back, have them come in. They do about an hour, a little over an hour performance. It's something that started many years ago, and it's been a good favorite. A lot of people come back, just for that night. And then after them, then we have a special thing this year. It's the St. Louis High School Steel Drum Band. I had to write that down. They come in right after, immediately following. They are something that we're very, very excited about. It's a pretty neat thing to see them play, and steel drums is not something you see every day, so very nice with that. And then to finish the night off, Ultimate Night DJs. They've been with us before, so DJ's a nice thing. Everybody's kind of cruising into trying to recover for Monday, so it's you don't need any crazy rock bands or anything. So it'll end the festival on a great note.
Good. All right. Now for Saturday night, will there be fireworks display? Yes,
as always. We 9:30 is our shoot off. He normally likes to put one up, a couple minutes before, get everybody prepared. It's sponsored this year. Our huge sponsor for Good Old Days is North Star Bank. Colby and his team down there stepped forward and said, "We want to be your sponsor," and that's the big sponsor really is the fireworks. It costs a lot of money to shoot those off for 22 minutes, and it's great. Being able to do that, that's one of our longtime traditions. So a lot of people, I like to see that. They come out to the park and they sit in the park. A lot of people will sit in their cars in the parking lot and just check that out, and it's great to see that tradition continue.
I know a lot of times I'm just coming back from like Demolition Derby.
Oh yes.
And so I'm able to watch them right outside of City Hall.
Yeah, I've heard that too from some of the police officers. They can hang out back here.
Yep, I see them hanging out back there.
Right.
when it comes to Saturday night.
That's all right.
Fireworks are going. So you're gonna have looking at your brochure, it looked like there are gonna be a lot of charities and stuff that are gonna be out there. What kind of events are they going to be hosting? What charities will be around?
Well, the initial intent of Good Old Days when it was formed in 63 and a half and 64 by like my grandfather and 7 people was bring stuff to Richmond, bring people to Richmond. It's a way to give back to communities or the businesses, to bring them, do that, support your town, everything else. So that has been our mission statement since day one. So as always, we are teaming up with school groups this year, really especially. It'll be the second year for the varsity boys basketball team to host a 5K race. Goes around our area and then out into the back section of town there a little bit. And then new this year, the girls volleyball team did not want to be left out. So they are joining us and they're going to run a volleyball tournament. It will start on Friday and then we'll finish on Sunday afternoon.
That's cool.
Yeah, it'll be a good thing. They're going to limit the teams, four-man teams, I believe it is. And it's Heidi Thummel, she's the coach. Going to be a great fundraiser. We do a very fair split with them where we barely take anything and they get all the money. So it's just, it's a good way to do a quick, easy money fundraiser. It helps them out. They get new equipment, new jerseys out of 2 days' work. It's not a bad deal.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, but we'll have you back in just a moment.
Yep.
We're going to go to our interview with the 2019 Miss Richmond in our court, so stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to Richmond TV's Community Focus. For our next segment, we have Miss Richmond, Lexi Redjewski, and her court, Grace and Paige Thomson. How are you three of you doing today?
Great. Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you
for having us. Thank you.
Not a problem. So how has the summer been since becoming Miss Richmond in court?
It's been amazing. It's been really cool. It's just go to all the different parades and just learn more about the town. That's been really awesome.
What has been your favorite parade to go to so far?
My personal favorite has been the Memphis parade, just because my 2 aunts, Rhonda and Radana, own the Donut Girls, the shop right in Memphis. So a bunch of my family was there, and they were really, really loud when I came by. So that was really fun to see.
Grace, what about you?
My favorite was definitely the Frankenmuth parade because they were just so welcoming and they had such a fun Queen's breakfast.
Yeah.
And we all just really got to bond together and meet all the other queens because it was towards the beginning of the season. So we didn't really know too many other queens at that point. And they were so fun. They threw fudge at us from the
yeah, we got
going by. It was so fun, and that was by far my favorite parade.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So Paige, what about you?
The Frankenmuth parade, for sure.
Still,
The exact same reasons what Grace said. Just everything, they were just so welcoming. Just, it was honestly, like you said, it was in the beginning of the season, and it was just a good parade to start off with.
So which is better, Frankenmuth fudge or Mackinac fudge?
Macking off. I was like macking off.
Yeah.
Pretty good though.
What are your plan? Where do each of you go to school at?
I go to Cardinal Mooney in Marine City, and that's fun.
Okay.
Yeah, and then both me and Paige go to Richmond High School.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are your plans for after high school?
I'm planning to attend Grand Valley after and pursue a career in business. Gotta focus in on where yet, but
Right. Well, that's what the first year of college is all about.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm still like very vague, just kind of still searching to what I want to do. But I've been doing some college tours this summer. I'm thinking between Wayne and Oakland, but I would like to major in something with math and science,
Okay.
and then possibly minor in dance.
Okay.
I would like to go to a college and play softball there. Not sure where yet. I'm still trying to decide.
Well, there's no rush on deciding right this second.
I
so.
do want to go into dental hygiene though. So.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So what message do the three of you have for the next line of Miss Richmond in court?
I would probably say just have fun, because it's such a fun summer. It's such a cool thing to just do. Like just seeing all of the little girls waving at you and calling you princess. Like that's just such a cool thing to have happen to you. And just live in the moment and just enjoy it, because it does go by so fast.
Yes, it's once in a lifetime opportunity. So.
It feels like we were just crowned.
I know.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, that was
I
the
know.
next thing I was going to ask you was, for most people, summer usually goes by pretty quick, especially in Michigan.
Right.
Yeah.
But how about for you guys? I mean, you've been I've seen everything that's been going on Facebook, and
Yeah.
you guys are doing something like every other weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's always like, you always just look forward to the next parade, and you're always like, okay, we did this parade, oh, I can't wait for this next one, and then you don't realize how quickly they pass until you're done with the summer. You're like, oh my goodness, we just have good old days in the Romeo Peach Festival.
Especially 'cause I've missed 1 or 2 parades because I was playing softball in Colorado, Georgia, all over the United States.
Yeah, you haven't been to all of them, but the ones
Yeah,
you've been to
so
probably
it's-
went by fast.
Yeah, it's just gone by super fast just because I've been all over the place. So
So is it better when the parades are closer by, or when the ones that are further away, that places that normally probably wouldn't go to?
I would probably say farther away, just because you get to see more. Like the ones that are closer, you kind of already know the town, you know just a little bit about the festival. But when you go farther away, you get to see more of that town that you haven't really visited that much. So that's really cool.
Do you guys take like the day before, or day after a parade to kind of be able to go out and explore Frankenmuth or something?
Yeah, I did that same day. Actually, I changed out of my dress and into something else, and I went with a few friends to go around to all the shops in Frankenmuth. So that was really fun.
Oh, that's awesome. Is there what good old days events are each of you looking forward to?
I'm
there's
really
so
looking
many.
forward to the derbies, the bump and run, the figure eight, demolition derby. I'm really excited for those.
I'm most looking forward to sitting at the Little Miss crowning, just because I was Little Miss in 2008, and I remember definitely looking up to the Miss Richmond sitting in the corner, and just to be that is so cool to me.
And I'm looking forward to the dunk tank.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting.
Now,
I'm not-
watching or participating?
Participating. I'm so excited. And outhouse races.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
really excited for that.
Okay. Is there anything the three of you would like to add?
I mean, I would like to say that we had a very low turnout for our Miss Richmond for our Miss Richmond ceremony, and I would just really like to encourage anybody that wants to do Miss Richmond or is even thinking about it a little bit, like go for it. It's so much fun. I just really
For
hope that
sure, go
we
for
have a
it.
bigger turnout next year, because it's such a
Yes.
good experience.
For sure. And I wasn't sure that I was going to do it, but even if you don't get onto the court, it's still a great opportunity to practice life skills like interviewing and just being around other people and competing against something for other people that you don't always get to compete for.
Yeah, that was really cool, just to like get to know everybody that was trying out for it. We had a bunch of girls, so just getting to know everybody a little bit more intimately was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was nice.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the show today.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
for having
much.
us.
Not a problem, anytime. All right, and we'll be right back with more from the Good Old Days Committee. Hello and welcome back to Richmond TV's Community Focus. We're back with Matt Ricks, and now we have Rachael Churchill joining us.
Hi.
Thanks for coming back and and talking to us about this today. All right, let's get right into it. Can you describe the bump and run and what are the prizes for winning?
So the bump and run race is on Thursday night. It consists of front wheel drive cars, rear wheel drive cars. So you get a lot of I call them, the tiny cars, like front wheel drives or like Tempos, little cars like that. Rear wheel drive, you'll get Ford Rangers, small trucks, just small vehicles. They run around a winding track. Gary Bertassi does our tracks for us. He creates it so it's a lot of hairpin turns, a lot of fast action, back and forth. You're trying to keep it safe, but trying to keep it entertaining for the crowd. So it's a very fast race. We normally limit out about 56 cars, break them into usually classes of 7 each, and then you go to a B main, A main championships. The prizes vary. You get a prize for first and second in each heat, and it's money. And then if you make it to B main, you get money. If you win B main, you get money. And if you win A main, you get a very nice prize. And with the bump and run guys, they can build a car for very cheap, and they can run a lot of races because they it's bump and run, but it's not like they're smashing.
The intent is a race, not to smash into each other.
Right, it's like 696 during rush hour. So, they can keep their cars all summer long, and the money they win pays for their car 5 times over. So a lot of those guys are just happier.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Do you have a lot because that's more of an accessible race for people? Do you have a lot of entries?
Oh yeah.
So do you have to turn people away sometimes?
Sometimes we'll try to keep if we take 56 cars, we might keep 5 to 10 on the back burner and say, hey, if you'd like to show up, you're not in, but maybe a guy's car won't start. Right. You just got your spot, and a lot of people will do that because it's very cheap to enter. It's worth their time to come up. They can watch the race if they're not in. So that's one of our quickly filled races. I think we already have 25, I believe, as of this morning. So
awesome.
Yeah, it's a great race.
Okay, so what about the figure 8 derby? What sets that apart from the bump and run?
That is very fast paced. You have a lot of high horsepower cars, and there's a lot of hitting in that. They're literally doing a figure 8 around 2 huge tractor tires, and those guys are straight to the floorboards all the way around there. You never see brakes on any of these cars. There a lot of the demo derby guys are bump and run guys. Are figure 8 guys because they set their cars up for as much power as possible. A lot of them are full size cars that they have braced. There is a set of rules a mile long on what you can and cannot do for safety, for strength, and everything. It's fun to watch. I mean, these guys, they're diving into the corners at 30 miles an hour on a track that's not very big. So it's very fun to watch. You do get a rollover. You do get hard hits. You get guys that are screaming. You can hear them from there because they're yelling at that guy that just cut them off, and they're going.
Yeah, I gotta be careful when
earplugs.
I put my mics. Sometimes I've caught it before.
Yeah, right. It's pretty fun though. I mean, it's a lot of people are on their feet watching that because, especially the last races at B main, A main, similar setup as the bump and run. Those A main guys are unbelievable to watch. They are flying around that track. So prizes, same thing. All of our prizes for all derbies are always money. These guys put a lot of money into their cars. As you get to the higher races, they want a kickback, to help pay for that next race. I think offhand, I think our like main prize somewhere around $3,000. So it's not bad. It's pretty good money, and that's, with the more money you draw, the more people in. So that's how you get your racers. If you give out a decent prize, they come from clear across the state just to race at your race. And we've been known for a long time to have a nice track. It's a very clay-based, fast-paced track. The firemen do a great job keeping it wet down so that you don't have to worry about dust. And you guys can't see anything. It's pretty dangerous. So it's a good day. It's a good day on a Friday.
So with the last motor event, the Demolition Derby, I hear that there's some changes to that.
Yes.
In comparison to the past few years.
Oh yes, this is a big change. The boys from Armada Fair have been helping us out running our derbies for the last 2 years. They've done a great job. There's been no complaints, which is nice. This year we entered into a contract with Jack Fissler Jr. He's a Richmond guy, but he is gone mainstream. He has bought out Sonny from USA Derby. Sonny's been around forever. Everybody knows him in the Derby world. His championship race has always been in Saline, Michigan. Jack came to us and said, I want to see it come to Richmond. I want to see Richmond just, explode with Derby cars. And I said, that would be awesome. We'd love to have it. Derby is something that's getting a lot harder. They just don't build cars like they used to.
Yeah.
So, these guys are going down south to get these cars. There's a little bit less every year. It's a real challenge. Jack's hoping to see 50 to 60 cars out there, which would be like our old days, and it was all afternoon racing. So, by going with Jack, he's bringing a very high caliber of racing. These guys come from everywhere. I talked to my buddy yesterday. There's guys coming from Indiana because some Richmond boys went down there and won, so they're coming up here, and they got 600 horsepower cars.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, it's going to be an incredible day of racing. We're starting it a little bit earlier this year just because of that. The Power Wheels racing is coming back again. The kids love that. Parents love watching it. It's a good way to kill a little bit of time, so make sure everybody's ready to go. That starts at 2:30 this year, so it's I think it's about an hour earlier. The racing starts at 3 o'clock sharp. And he's very strict on that. We're ready to go at 3 p.m. We do national anthem, and it's go racing. Now, also with this championship race, there is big money, more money than we've ever put out. Jack's, even kicking in a little bit also, just to make sure that these racers get rewarded for a good race.
Right.
So we're ecstatic. We've done thousands of dollars of improvements out there over the summer. More grandstands, better track, improved the barriers. The barriers were getting a little sloppy out there, so we redid those, or currently redoing those right now, I believe he is. We've done everything we can to make this the absolute best Derby show we've seen ever in good old days.
Awesome.
So we're very excited.
So are we.
Yeah.
Can't wait to record it.
Yes.
Now we'll finish out the race questions
Right.
with where the Outhouse Race is going to be this year and what's going on with that.
So Outhouse Races, we talked about moving them around a little bit, but ultimately we ended up doing them in the same spot. It's where they've been forever. They will start right at the intersection of Monroe and Main Street, right dead in front of Chap's building there. And a lot of people like that because they can stand on Chap's porch a little bit there and get the higher view. It runs south to right about Ken's Country Kitchen. They have to turn around, come back. The chairman, Karen, she's contemplating whether to do something down there, try to make it a little more complicated. Like I know years ago they had to change a toilet paper roll. It was kind of comical, and people, they get flustered down there, and that can even a race out because sometimes you got runners, and then you got the people that showed up that day to do something they didn't really want to, but the church made them.
Right.
We always have interesting groups. I believe it's St. A's going against Trinity Lutheran again this year. I believe St. A's won last year, so they're up for some retribution. We usually have a team of military members, some local guys. Our Queens run with New Baltimore Queens, I think, have come out, and they've won last year. So
past Miss Richmond's come out too.
Yes. Oh yeah, they do. I'll jokingly say an antique Miss Richmond race, and they'll come out, and we got some good girls for that. They're prepared this year. So there's a kids race. She does a great job, Karen. And St. John Plumbing has sponsored that for us for a couple of years now. So they, it's fitting, St. John Plumbing with Outhouse races. So it's just fit great this year, and it's a good time. It's on Friday night. It is a home football game, so it's going to be a crowded town. But
it's going to be busy, that's for sure. I know my night, we got 3 events going on at the same time, so it's going to be fun to record.
It's a big football game.
Right,
so.
It's not like it's just, this has been our new rivalry for the past few years, so.
Absolutely, good
times. What events and vendors do you have lined up for Bailey Park?
So Bailey Park is packed, as always. We have Hamlin Pub's tent, they call it Pub on the Midway. They'll be returning with us another year. They do a lot of great stuff. I know the Riff is going to be there again this year with they have games, they have a Riff girl, everything. That's been a new thrill for some people. The Country Living Market is going to be there. That is Kathy Oswald. She has started that probably 5 or 6 years ago, and brings a lot of like handmade stuff, repurposed stuff. She does that on one side of Washington. And then the other section of the park closest to the tennis courts is all the snowmobile show.
Okay.
So they'll be returning again this year also.
Awesome. Will you have the antique tractors and snowmobiles on display?
Yep. The snowmobiles will be all along that area.
Okay.
And they bring a vast array of snowmobile related stuff. The antique tractor show is coming back again this year. Last year I think we had probably around 20 to 30 of them, various times throughout the weekend. Some guys only want to be there for Saturday. Kevin Troutman is the chairman of that. He travels around with different shows, tries to bring them in. So they are in what I guess if you've lived here forever is the ice skating rink. It's kind of the crater there in the middle of Beebe Street Park.
Right.
And he just lines them up in there. It's nice. You can walk around, the berm there and kind of look over a little bit, see them from a different angle. Good for pictures. And then the Troutmans always bring their antique shingle mill, which everybody loves because they stamp out that logo every year. A lot of people have those for every year they've ever been there. So it's a nice little keepsake. You can pick up for $1 a donation. So that's nice.
Really quick, speaking on antiques, are you going to be riding your Bronco in the parade this year?
I don't know. It's never me.
If we let him in.
Yeah,
if we let him in.
I've never been able to go in our parade. But I don't know. It's something that we've gotten our Richmond Bronco Club together if we've needed some fillers, and try to space out some bands. We just did Woodward, so we'll see. Maybe we'll surprise everybody.
All right. So what can you tell us about the Skirbeck Carnival?
So, yeah, Bill Skirbeck, he's been with us for a couple of years now, and he's been with us throughout different years. He's fulfilled contracts. He's done things nobody knew. He's been around forever. He's one of the top carnivals in the entire state, actually in this entire
They always
region.
have great stuff out there.
Yes, their rides are clean. Their people are nice. It's all the things that we look for in a carnival. They are that. His children are coming up. They're just like me and my dad. There are people that are ready to take over, and Bill and his wife are doing a great job. They bring the best rides you've ever seen, and I know he was telling me a story last year about the Ferris wheel. They replaced all the lights with LED lights, and he said, just watch that thing. And the lights, the show, it was amazing, to see that. And he told me how much that cost, and it's like, wow, that's a lot of money for light bulbs, But they bring great rides, and they try to, throw something in every year, something different. They come from Escanaba. That's where they're based out of, and they're very close to that when they are coming to our festival. So they bring, whatever they've got close, which usually is their top rides.
Right.
So we're looking. Our contract is coming up soon, and we're hoping that they want to be with us for another couple of years.
Hopefully.
Yeah, it's getting real hard to find carnivals. A lot of them at this time of year are starting to head south. So it's a challenge to keep guys here, but they've been happy with us, and we've been more than happy with them. So.
Oh yeah. Rachael, let's talk to you a little bit about the parade finally. So who are some of the performers that will be in the Great Michigan Parade this year?
We're lucky. We have a pretty well-respected parade, so we get a lot of returnees every year. We're happy to have Captain Fishbones. Captain was sick for a few years, but he's on the mend, and they're coming back, so we're excited about them. We have about 20 bands confirmed, including Ingersoll, some fan favorites like Ingersoll, Pipes, and First Michigan Fife and Drum, and our local high schools, Richmond, Armada, Dakota, Port Huron Northern. So a lot of favorites coming back for bands, but having 20 bands is a big feat. We work a lot of months getting all those bands to confirm. Then we have the Ghostbusters, who are a favorite as well, and they are supposed to have a special guest with them this year, Beetlejuice, who used to perform down at Universal Studios. So they're trying to make it work that Beetlejuice can join them on our route because they love our parade. They even come to our winter Christmas parade, Ghostbusters, so they love Richmond. And we're able to get a lot of our local businesses. We'll put in floats and entries to promote their businesses, and our requirement is a little bit stricter than some of our other local parades. We ask them to be unique, and so our businesses really step up and do some great entries for the parade.
Yep. Cool. Is Is there anything new for the parade coming this year?
I think Matt mentioned earlier for Sunday's entertainment in the tent, we're really excited to have the St. Louis Steel Drum Band. They're out of St. Louis, Michigan. They're coming from the other side of the state to perform in our parade. A local lawyer in town, Tom McGovern, was able to talk to the director and kind of convince him, because they're also starting school, so it's a big commitment from them to come over for it, but they are, so they're coming over. We're really excited to have them coming with us. Not a new band, but Chatham out of Canada, Chatham Pipes. They haven't been with us for a few years, but they're back, so we're considering them new. And we're excited the Detroit Lion mascot Rory will be in, of course, with a Ford convertible. So we're excited about him joining us. We had pause a few years ago, so we wanted to invite another Detroit sports team mascot.
Now we just need to get the one from the Pistons.
Right? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'll work on that for next year.
What is the mascot for the Pistons? Still a horse, right?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So with I forgot to put this on my questions, but
That's okay.
With last year you changed the parade route, so it was shortened a little bit.
We did.
Are you keeping that for this year?
We are. It was, with any change is not always well received, but it was what was best for the community as a whole. We worked with the police department and the city, and there was a lot of new local businesses put into the old Kmart parking where we park all of our, buses. We have, I think it's like 20 some buses that come in. So we did change it. We shortened the route a little bit. It's now 1.1 mile. It was a very long parade in comparison to other parades. It was almost 2 miles. So with that, a group like Chatham, for example, was able to come back because their members were getting older and couldn't do that full route. But once they heard that we had shortened the route, they came back. And so we will stay. It ends just past St. Augustine Church on Mary Street.
Okay.
So it'll still stop in the same place this year. That was a positive move for us.
Good. Well, I'm glad all that worked out because it
did.
seemed like it did help. And from what you're telling me, you're getting
we got more
acts that
interest.
you used to have that had to who had to quit.
And our pipers were very grateful.
Oh,
a lot of our pipe we really pride ourselves on our pipe and our pipers and our fife and drums, and those members are getting older. So to do that type of route and then go over and perform in the beverage tent, which is a big deal. That's big that happens. It was definitely something that we got emails after the parade thanking us for considering them in that decision. So definitely a positive change.
Is there anything either of you would like to add?
As always, I want to thank our entire city. Without the city's approvals on all this, we would never have a festival. To work with the city is not something that every festival has been able to do over the years. So we're very happy to deal with them. I want to thank our DPW workers. They help us out tremendously before, during, and after. If you come here on Monday morning, it doesn't look like a festival is here. They do a great job.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the 150,000 people.
Not at all.
Town.
No. Our police department, Chief Teskey, anything we need at any time, call him. It's done. Fire department, they help us out in multiple ways. They do a raffle. I mean, they're involved heavily. Love those guys to death. Richmond TV, you guys do a lot for us. So we're grateful. It's wonderful to work in a community that everybody works together. So really appreciate that.
And I would just like to add, we really thank, as a parade committee, the local businesses in town. That it cost us about $18,000 to put that parade down Main Street on Sunday, and it is completely local sponsored. So without those businesses in town stepping up and making those, sponsorship donations, there would be no grand parade, let alone everything else that they sponsor throughout the weekend. And the volunteers, we're part of multi-generational. Parade Sunday, we have people that are second, third generation working our parade, like Jerome Schultz and Dennis LaFleur. So from a parade standpoint, the businesses and volunteers are something that we wouldn't be able to do anything without.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, thank you very much, Matt and Rachel, for joining me today.
You.
You can find these handy brochures scattered throughout town, give you the list and times of the events that are all going on. You can also go to richmondgoodoldaysfestival.org. For everything that we've talked about today, all the links will be in description down below if you're watching this on YouTube. So the parade, the entire festival will be going September 5th through the 8th, and you'll have different events like the Bump and Run, the opening ceremonies, and Little Miss Richmond pageant, Running with the Devils, all kinds of fun events for the whole family. So just go to that website, www.richmondgoodoldaysfestival.org, and don't forget to look them up on Facebook. You can also check out Richmond TV on Comcast Channel 6, or you can view us on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search Richmond TV 12, and our channel will pop right up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you're updated on all the latest events going on in the city of Richmond. I've been Jason Robbins. Thank you very much.